The Young and the Restless spoilers recap for Monday, December 23, reveals that Victoria Newman will be feeling under the weather, so Claire Newman and Cole Howard will celebrate Christmas at the ranch without her. Once Cole and Claire arrive to find Victor Newman kissing Nikki Newman, they'll all sit down for some toasts and exchanged gifts. Claire will reveal that she had a portrait commissioned that features her along with Victoria, Cole, Victor, and Nikki. After Nikki and Victor gush over the present, Cole will hope Victor doesn't mind that he was included. Victor will take Cole aside to admit that although he wasn't happy about Jordan's dungeon release, he believes Cole is a good man and father. With that in mind, Victor will decide he's not going to stand in the way of Cole's relationship with Victoria or the family they're building with Claire. Once Cole offers up some books he's selected for Victoria and Nikki, Claire will learn her grandparents are getting her a horse for Christmas. These holiday ranch scenes will wrap up with a tree lighting and some positive predictions about the future. At Society on Monday's I and R episode, Lauren Fenmore Baldwin will be taken aback over Michael Baldwin's updates on Sharon Newman's hypnosis memories. Since Sharon feels confident someone else was at the apartment that night, Lauren will have faith that Michael's going to get to the bottom of all this for her defense. When Phyllis Summers overhears something about the real killer, she'll intrude on the conversation and insist that Sharon did this. Phyllis will assume Michael is cooking up some way to get Sharon off the hook, but Michael will insist this is legit and that the police have been notified. In fact, Michael will hint that protection may be sent for Daniel Romalotti-Jurdot and Lucy Romalotti, but Phyllis will insist they needed to have been protected from Sharon. Lauren will try to convince Phyllis that there are things about this case she doesn't realize, so Phyllis will pull up a chair and demand to know the rest. Michael will only allude to the new evidence that calls everything into question, so Phyllis will finally storm out. At the cottage, Sharon will have good news for Mariah Copeland and Faith Newman, since she remembered she's not responsible for Heather Stevens' demise. Once Faith and Mariah hear all Sharon's latest hypnosis memories, they'll be relieved. It'll feel like a Christmas miracle, but Sharon will express concern for Daniel and his family since the real killer is still out there. However, Nick Newman won't think it's wise to derail their Christmas celebration when this is their first year without Heather. This isn't over yet since they still need proof of the actual culprit, but Sharon will feel a lot lighter knowing what she knows now. Since Sharon will finally be feeling up to decorating for Christmas, Nick will dash off and bring a tree back for the house. Nick, Mariah, Faith, and Tessa Porter all help with the decorations, but the holiday fun will come to a screeching halt when Phyllis shows up. Although everyone will act like this isn't the time and place for this confrontation, Phyllis will mention the new information she heard about from Michael and demand answers. After Phyllis asks what the hell Sharon is trying to pull, Sharon will finally blurt out that she was wrong and that she's not guilty. Once Sharon says she didn't murder anyone and that someone else killed Heather that night, Phyllis will definitely look skeptical. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate Sharon may offer more details soon, but it's doubtful Phyllis will buy her hypnosis epiphany just yet. We'll have other great Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, updates, and news, so make us your one-stop Y and R source. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Damn, Phyllis is about to become a major thorn in Chance's side, isn't she? He's set for a big reminder as to what he disliked about working in law enforcement in Genoa City. Phyllis' special standalone episode was not only a flashback palooza, but it served to make it very clear to viewers that Phyllis will be the one to expose Sharon. I'm hoping against hope that this story won't fizzle or flail like so many others before it. It has great possibilities in that it reignites Sharon and Phyllis' legendary rivalry, wedges Nick smack dab in the middle again, and finally will bring us to some resolution in Heather's death. If Daniel being framed is phase 1 of this investigation, Phyllis exposing Sharon will surely be phase 2, and probably the last phase will be the reveal of what really happened that night, which may get Sharon off the hook. Also fun, Phyllis may be forced to team up with another rival to save her son. We've already had to suspend disbelief in this story, what with Sharon performing unbelievable feats, the bumbling police investigation, and Phyllis leaping to the conclusion that her nemesis was the one who framed Daniel. But I'm willing to do it if it takes us on a decent ride. As we well know, most of the other offerings on Young and Restless are painfully dull. For those complaining that Phyllis whitewashed her history on her jaunt down memory lane, of course she did. She's Phyllis, and this was her family she was talking to. It's only natural that she would tell her version of events and leave out the worst of it. She was hardly going to confess to a hit and run on the bug. Fight Club. Jack's takedown of Diane in the club was soap nirvana. Not only was it super satisfying to have someone finally yell all the things we've wanted her to hear since she first stepped foot back in Genoa City, but it happened in front of a stunned, horrified, and in Victor's case, gleeful audience. Fans loved it too. Even better is that we really don't know if it was real or fake. My take? If Diane actually wants to put her son in prison over a line of sunscreen, I hope the fight was real and that it's her well-deserved comeuppance. Kyle deserves consequences as well, don't get me wrong, but what mother puts their son behind bars? Another clue that it may have been the real deal. We've seen tension between Jack and Diane in private and when no one was watching. On the other hand, scrapping so publicly does suggest that the couple may be playing a long game to try and fool Victor into thinking that he's winning. Judging by the look on Kyle's face, the crisis might be geared toward shocking some sense into him as well, killing two ruthless birds with one stone, if you will. If Jack and Diane are pulling off a ruse, they're really going for authenticity, as he asks her to move out of the Abbott mansion next week. Final related thought, filed under interesting timing, was Phyllis devoting a segment of her walk down memory lane to blaming Diane for the end of her relationship with Jack. Are the writers eyeing a FAC reunion down the road if this split is real? Billy Boy. Phyllis is about to be too busy to help Billy at Abbott Chancellor, what with having to solve a murder mystery. But if anyone can multitask on this level, it's Red. It remains to be seen if Billy will risk it all to try and use the time until Daddy's wedding to finally show his mother he's worthy. I'm vaguely intrigued to see if he can pull it off. Regardless, one of the highlights of the week was the fiery Jill of old reading Billy for filth over firing Lily. I've missed her. The opinions expressed are my own. Please join the conversation by posting in the comments below. In The Young and the Restless, a series of tense and suspenseful plots are pushed to a climax as intrigue, anxiety, and efforts to protect loved ones intertwine, creating a story full of surprises and fascination. It all begins when Ian, a scheming and dangerous man, decides to target Tessa. Tessa, with her strong but carefree personality, is unaware that she has been targeted by a hidden enemy. Ian secretly mentions to Jordan that Tessa is his new target because she has no idea who Ian is, and therefore will not be able to guard against him. Jordan, despite her shady actions in the past, hesitates before Ian's plans. This makes Ian mock that Jordan is not ruthless and determined enough to achieve his goal. Ian, with his sinister nature, has devised an elaborate trap to lure Tessa into a dangerous situation. Ian's plan is not only to hurt Tessa, but also to destroy her reputation and career. With her musical talent, Tessa is currently a rising star, and Ian believes that taking her down will be a great victory in the power play he has always pursued. Jordan, although reluctant to join, cannot help but wonder if Ian is truly aware of the danger of confronting Tessa, because Tessa always has loyal friends who are ready to stand up for her. But Ian does not care. He believes that his plan cannot fail, and Tessa will soon become the next victim in his series of dark plots. Meanwhile, in another development, Daniel is trying his best to protect and support his daughter Lucy. Daniel's return is not only out of love for Lucy, but also out of a sense of responsibility. He knows that the world around Lucy is becoming more and more dangerous and complicated. Daniel knows that if he doesn't stand firm and fight for Lucy, she may be dragged into trouble that she doesn't deserve. Daniel constantly faces challenges from the outside, but what really bothers him are the worries in Lucy's heart. She seems to be hiding something, and Daniel is determined to find out so he can better protect his daughter. His tenacity is not only shown through his actions, but also in his willingness to confront anyone or anything that could endanger Lucy. Intertwined plots ensue. Ian's schemes not only affect Tessa, but also create a chain of events that could shake the entire community. While Ian is busy with his plan, Tessa begins to notice unusual signs around her. She feels the eyes on her, the anonymous phone calls, and even strange events happening at work. Tessa is not one to be easily intimidated, and she decides to find out what is going on. Tessa turns to Maria, her partner, and the person who has always been by her side through the toughest times. Maria quickly realizes the seriousness of the situation and does not hesitate to warn Tessa that she may be the target of some kind of conspiracy. With Maria's support, Tessa begins to prepare for any possible danger. At the same time, Jordan begins to have doubts about Ian's plans. He cannot deny that Ian is a smart and dangerous man, but targeting Tessa could be a big mistake. Jordan begins to consider betraying Ian to protect Tessa or at least warn her of the impending danger. But will he have the courage to stand up to Ian, or will he be drawn into a dark conspiracy? The climax is pushed as Ian gets closer to putting his plan into action. Tessa and Maria grow stronger and more united. They begin to gather evidence and seek support from trusted friends like Sharon and Nick. Secrets begin to be revealed, and Tessa realizes that her enemies are not simple. Meanwhile, Daniel is not left out. He decides to join in to protect Lucy and those he loves from potential dangers. The story reaches its climax when Ian and Tessa face each other in a dramatic confrontation. Can Tessa overcome Ian's trap and protect herself, or will she become a victim in this dangerous game? And which side will Jordan choose to stand on in this war? These questions will keep the audience glued to the screen, waiting every minute to know the outcome of the characters. With its complex plot and interwoven emotions, The Young and the Restless continues to affirm its position as a captivating drama, where loyalty, protection, and dark conspiracies always intersect to create an unpredictable story. On The Young and the Restless, this year's Christmas is filled with mixed emotions as the characters deal with grief, intrigue, and determination to protect their loved ones. The Young and the Restless spoilers confirm that Phyllis Summers is currently in the front and center of a very heated storyline. She is bending over backwards, trying to prove Sharon's involvement in her car accident and Heather's death. Even though Phyllis is no Ms. Goody Two-Shoes, she is still one of the most loved characters of the soap and extremely relevant. Perhaps fans just love the fiery angle she brings to the screen. What sets Phyllis apart from soaps or villains is that even though she is not holier than thou, she is also not pure evil. She is usually in the gray, with a mean streak. In fact, she is the reigning queen of gray areas. Another thing that she tends to do a lot is obsess. Currently, she obsesses about bringing Sharon Newman down. However, we don't think this obsession will be able to last long, considering that Sharon is actually innocent. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that sooner or later, Phyllis is going to have to give up her obsession over trying to prove Sharon a criminal. But Phyllis being Phyllis, she can't remain obsessionless for too long. The soap is pointing toward a perfect new target for her obsession, Billy Abbott. The man is currently licking his wounds after biting the dust at Victor Newman's hands and being betrayed by his own mother. Billy is determined to seek revenge on Victor and snatch Abbott Chancellor back. And guess who currently has it? Nikki Newman, of course. So helping Billy will give Phyllis the double-fold delight of kicking Nikki down. We can already sense Red smirking at the thought. In fact, considering that this is a soap, Billy and Phyllis association may not stop at business alone. Phyllis is single at the moment, and Billy has just tackled betrayal at Chelsea's hands. Sure, he has had some romantic interactions with Sally, but they are not a sealed deal. So there is still some scope for a romantic tryst between Phyllis and Billy. And it could be rather interesting to watch. So stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily for more The Young and the Restless spoilers on this speculative twist. Meanwhile, do you want to see Phyllis and Billy together? Tell us in the comments. The shadows of Genoa City never truly rest, and the latest twist has left its residents grappling with a tangle of secrets, suspicions, and unintended consequences. As Sharon begins to reclaim fragments of her lost memory, the path to uncovering the truth behind a murder becomes increasingly fraught with complications. Here's how the story unfolds, revealing tangled relationships and new dimensions of distrust. Sharon's buried memories resurface. Michael Baldwin, known for his sharp intellect and deep understanding of human nature, finds himself in an unusual position. Having pieced together fragments of Sharon's enigmatic past, he becomes her confidant, helping her navigate the stormy waters of rediscovery. Sharon, who has recently undergone hypnosis to recover her suppressed memories, is inching closer to uncovering the identity of a killer. However, Michael knows that the truth, while liberating, is dangerous if not handled delicately. When Michael shares Sharon's struggles with Lauren Fenmore, she is initially skeptical. But as he lays out the details, Lauren begins to realize that the revelations are not just Sharon's personal burden. They could implicate others in Genoa City's most scandalous crime. The urgency to substantiate Sharon's claims becomes paramount. Michael warns Lauren that without proof, no one will believe her. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis tells Summer she has to do self-care in order to care for her loved ones. This Christmas is going to be brutal for Daniel. Summer can't even imagine what he and Lucy are going through. Suddenly, they get a text from Daniel asking them to come over. At Daniel's place, he struggles through his front door with a Christmas tree. He calls for Lucy, who is surprised. "I didn't think we were going to have one this year." Daniel knows that it might feel a little weird to do it, but he feels like it would be pretty awful not to. "Your mom's gone. That hurts. Nothing's going to change that. But she loved Christmas and decorating the tree. Lucy was always her helper with that, so he thought they could try and do it together. For Mom." Daniel tells Lucy they can put up the tree, make treats, and put on her grandpa's Christmas album. Lucy doesn't think she can do this. Daniel knows it will be hard, but he wants to try. Lucy says it feels wrong trying to have fun without her. Daniel argues that she'd want them to be happy. Lucy grimaces. Daniel will do the tree, and if she hates it when he's done, they'll throw it out. He won't be mad. If this helps them feel closer to her mom, right now, he could use that. Lucy admits she could too. Daniel asks her to put on music, and they'll see how this goes. At Sharon's place, Nick asks if she's okay. He offers to get Alan back there, but she says he's done enough. She has to piece the rest together in her mind. Michael urges her to talk about it while it's fresh. Sharon recaps that she and Heather were arguing. She kept badgering her and telling her she was out of her mind. She pushed her, but she got up and went the other way. "God, I felt a hand. I felt a hand touch me. Somebody else was there." Nick says that person is the one who killed Heather while Sharon was unconscious. Sharon marvels that the guilt was tearing her up inside, but maybe I was right all along. Jordan enters the motel room and removes her wig and jacket before pouring herself a stiff drink. She flashes to talking to Ian in the prison yard, complaining to him about Claire abandoning her for the Newman money. He asked her what she'd do if she could return to Genoa City. Jordan guesses he wants her to say she'll repent or make amends. He realizes that's not what's in her heart. Walking over to the window, Jordan continues her trip down memory lane. She remembers telling Ian that if she could go back to Genoa City, she'd want revenge, not forgiveness. He admits he didn't get rid of his anger, he embraced it. Jordan says to herself, "I'll drink to that." At society, Maria tells Tessa she was nervous about the hypnosis, but Sharon is actually remembering things. Who knows what she'll recall today? Tessa wonders who ran Phyllis off the road if it wasn't Sharon. Maria doesn't know, but it's a relief knowing it wasn't her mother. She's dying to know what Sharon will remember today. As they talk, Ian stands outside in his hat and glasses and watches them through the window. Maria wonders if Heather's death and the accident are connected. Tessa tells her she knows her mom as well as anyone can. None of this ever made any sense. They should hope for the best and pray for a Christmas miracle. Maria says she loves her and they kiss. Maria has to go and walks out. Ian creeps around the corner and parks himself at the bar by Tessa, who welcomes him to the restaurant. He grins, "I think I love it here already." Ian crows that he's excited to try the food there. Tessa asks if he's new in town. He says he's visiting and introduces himself as Warren Masters. He says he's a chaplain in the state prison system. Tessa's interested and guesses it's very rewarding. He ruminates about helping a few folks find a higher purpose. At Sharon's place, Michael tells an angry Nick they can't take hypnosis and unconfirmed new recollections to the DA. We need more. Nick wants to get Alan back there to learn the rest. Michael reminds him he warned not to push too far. It's a little too convenient for Sharon to just remember there was someone else in the room. Nick thinks the cops have to investigate this. The cops stopped looking into it when Sharon confessed. The cops better find the other person who was in the building that night. Sharon wonders who was in the apartment with her and Heather. Maybe they heard the shouting, or maybe they were in there already. Michael warns they need to focus on what they're sure of right now. Sharon feels so close to figuring it out. Who was in there with us, and why? Nick wonders if the person followed Sharon on purpose. In the motel room, Jordan flashes back to the prison yard as Ian told her he was at war with himself. He had to give himself radical acceptance, the freedom to feel again. He can't tell just anyone that, however. She thanks him for sharing with her. He knows he can trust her. She nods, "You can." Jordan then asks him if he could go back to Genoa City and his enemies. Would he go? He says he would punish all who harmed him and take back what is his. Does not God punish the wrongdoer? In the present, Jordan muses, "I really shouldn't," but pours herself another drink. She flashes to Ian telling her he can find a way to fulfill her need for revenge and get her out of that cage. Real miracles can happen. She paces and muses, "I'm still waiting for that miracle," Ian Ward. Tick-tock. Phyllis and Summer arrive at Daniel's apartment, where Christmas music is playing and the tree is half decorated. Lucy shows them her mom's snow globe from when she was a kid. Daniel needs help, and Summer teases that they have impeccable style, so he's come to the right place. They start bashing Daniel's ornament placement, and he exchanges a look with his mom and sister as Lucy gets up and starts fixing the tree. As the festivities continue, Phyllis tells Daniel that's the greatest tree ever. Lucy teases her dad. Daniel warns Summer that Harrison will one day be her biggest heckler. Summer will just remind him that she has Santa's direct line. Lucy recalls catching Heather with her hand in her stocking one year. Daniel tells her that her mom was stealing her candy. Lucy hopes she had everything she ever wanted. Phyllis says she did. She had you. Lucy says she would have loved this. Daniel's sure she does. Phyllis hugs her granddaughter. At society, Ian questions Tessa about the woman he saw her with. She says that was her wife, Mariah. She brags about their daughter Aria and shows him a photo. He says she's blessed, and Maria is as well. At Sharon's place, she, Nick, and Michael keep going over theories about the third person in the apartment. Nick wonders if the person followed Sharon, it could be the same one who messed with her medication. Michael says it could also be the person who ran Phyllis off the road. Sharon wonders who and how they will find them. Sharon can't remember if the person was beside her or behind her, but she remembers they were wearing a glove. She's unsure if it was a man or a woman. Michael will call Chance to get the ball rolling. "I'll be in touch." Sharon thanks him. He tells her she's doing all the hard work. Once alone, Nick tells Sharon they're closer to making the charges go away. Sharon's scared that all they have to go on is vague memories. Until she knows this person is out there and can be caught, she can't get her hopes up. If she does, and it falls apart, she doesn't know if she can survive that. Ian rejoins Jordan at the motel, and they discuss their days at the penitentiary. She tells him he was full of surprises there. A man of the cloth who didn't demand she forgive and forget. He chuckles, "It's not my style, baby." Jordan knows they have the same goals. "I am grateful to you, Ian Ward. You set me free." Ian tells her that when he wants something, he goes right after it. She marvels that he found a woman willing to take her place. Ian says the woman needed help, she had an illness and has little time left on this earth. It was a way for her to financially help her family before she dies. Jordan thinks it takes real insight to predict how people will behave or react to any given situation. I have finally found a man I can admire, someone I can really trust. I've waited a lifetime for you, Ian Ward, and it's been worth every minute. Maria returns to society for her phone, which Tessa hands her. She mentions talking to a new customer, who is a minister. He was chatty, friendly, and upbeat. An angel who needs to get his wings. At Daniel's place, Lucy doesn't want Phyllis and Summer to leave yet. She wants to make a wish as they put on the final ornaments. Daniel prompts Summer to go first. Summer says this is a reminder for all of them to love and support each other extra this year, and for all the years to come. For Heather's sake. Lucy wishes for her mom to stay in her heart and guide her down the right path. She wishes to not forget what her voice sounded like when she told her she loved her. Daniel takes his turn and talks about Heather always seeing the best in people. His wish is to always lead with kindness and understanding. Finally, it's Phyllis' turn. She says Heather's death was a devastating loss. She hopes that Heather will rest in peace, knowing that her death didn't go unpunished. At Sharon's place, Nick tells her they're going to find who's responsible this, because it wasn't you. Sharon doesn't want to get her hopes up. Nick is sure she didn't do this. It never made sense. This changes everything, and it's not wishful thinking. It's the truth. They embrace. At society, Tessa goes on to Mariah about the prison chaplain. She says she showed him a photo of the three of them, and he said they were blessed. Maria thinks it sounds like the Reverend is a very wise man. At the motel, Ian tells Jordan he didn't expect this to happen at this point in his life. She's concerned about the police and the various busybodies. This has to go exactly as planned if it's to work out. Ian tells her they will get everything that they want. They kiss. Get ready, the young and the restless fans, because a storm is about to hit Genoa City, and it's coming straight from one of the show's most formidable forces, Victoria Newman. After months of staying out of the spotlight, Victoria is back, and she's not just making an entrance, she's making waves. The fiery businesswoman is determined to take down Ian and Jordan, and she's willing to use every weapon at her disposal to do so. With a vengeance in her eyes and a plan in place, Victoria's return is set to shake up the city in ways fans never expected. Victoria's return, more than just a comeback. Victoria Newman has always been a force to be reckoned with in Genoa City. From her reign at Newman Enterprises to her battles with family and foes alike, She's built a reputation as one of the sharpest minds and most powerful figures in town. But after a period of relative calm, her return is nothing short of explosive. This isn't just another storyline for Victoria, it's personal. After all, it's Ian and Jordan who are the targets of her wrath. Fans will recall that Ian has a long history of causing chaos, especially within the Newman family. His past actions have left scars on the Newman legacy, and Victoria's never been one to let such offenses slide. But it's not just Ian she's coming after. Jordan, who's closely tied to Ian's schemes, is also in her sights. Victoria's plan, a calculated and cold-blooded strategy. Victoria is no stranger to playing the game of corporate warfare and manipulation, but this time, she's taking it to a whole new level. Her strategy is not just about outsmarting her enemies in business. She's prepared to use every dirty trick in the book to ensure that Ian and Jordan are completely obliterated. Sources reveal that Victoria's first move involves exposing their darkest secrets. It's rumored that she's been digging into their pasts, uncovering skeletons that could destroy their credibility and tear apart their reputations. And when Victoria gets hold of something, she doesn't hesitate to use it. Her ability to manipulate and control the narrative is unmatched, and she plans to use her knowledge to ruin Ian and Jordan, both professionally and personally. But that's not all. Victoria is playing the long game. She's building alliances with key players who have their own reasons for wanting to see Ian and Jordan fall. Expect to see shocking collaborations with some of Genoa City's most powerful figures, creating a web of lies and deceit that could entrap Ian and Jordan in ways they never imagined. Ian and Jordan's backpedal, can they survive Victoria's wrath? As Victoria closes in, the pressure on Ian and Jordan is mounting. Both men have always been used to being in control, but now they are facing an enemy who knows how to play the game better than anyone. Ian, with his charming but sinister ways, may have underestimated the lengths to which Victoria will go. His history of manipulation could finally catch up with him, as Victoria is set to expose every dark corner of his past. Jordan, on the other hand, is still an unknown quantity in the power dynamics of Genoa City. He's been able to keep his head down for a while, but with Victoria coming after him, he'll have to prove whether he's as ruthless as she is. Will he try to strike back and fight fire with fire? Or will he be forced to make an alliance with someone even more dangerous to save himself? The stakes are higher than ever, and there's no telling how this battle will end. What's clear, however, is that neither Ian nor Jordan will escape unscathed. Victoria's thirst for revenge will lead her down a path of destruction, and anyone who stands in her way could be burned in the process. The fallout. What's next for Victoria and Genoa City? With Victoria on the warpath, it's not just Ian and Jordan who need to be worried. As with every power play she makes, there will be ripples that affect everyone in Genoa City. Friends will turn into foes, alliances will shift, and the Newman family could be facing yet another internal war. Fans are wondering whether Victoria's thirst for revenge will cloud her judgment and lead to unexpected betrayals. Will her family, especially her father, Victor Newman, support her in her mission, or will they try to rein her in before she goes too far? And what about her own heart? Has Victoria's determination to take down her enemies come at the expense of her personal life, or could a surprise romance emerge amid the chaos? The countdown begins. Don't miss a minute of the action. As the young and the restless prepares to delve deeper into Victoria's quest for vengeance, the drama is only going to intensify. Will Ian and Jordan survive the storm? Or will they fall victim to Victoria's unrelenting pursuit of revenge? The answers will come, but not before every shocking twist and turn leaves fans gasping for breath. If you thought you knew what was coming next, think again. Victoria's return is just the beginning of what promises to be one of Y&R's most thrilling and explosive storylines yet. Don't blink, because in Genoa City, anything can happen, and with Victoria in control, It's bound to be a wild ride.